Today, I want to talk about celebration, not just as a joyful event, but as a deeply spiritual act that connects us to God. Celebration, in many religious traditions, is not only a way to mark important occasions, but also a profound way to honor the divine presence in our lives. It is a time to reflect, express gratitude, and renew our faith. In essence, every celebration, whether it's a festival, a milestone, or even a small act of joy, can become an opportunity to draw closer to God. First and foremost, celebration is a way to recognize and honor God's presence in our lives. Every day is a gift from the divine, and celebrations remind us of that truth. When we come together to celebrate, whether in religious services, family gatherings, or community events, we are acknowledging that God is at the center of all things. In the Christian faith, for example, the celebration of Easter commemorates the resurrection of Jesus Christ, a victory over death and sin. It is a moment for believers to celebrate the power of life and the ultimate victory of good over evil, reminding them that God's presence brings hope, peace, and renewal. Similarly, in Judaism, the festival of Passover celebrates God's liberation of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. The act of celebrating Passover is not just a historical remembrance, but an expression of gratitude for God's enduring guidance and protection. The very act of celebrating reminds us that God is continually at work in our lives, providing, guiding, and sustaining us, even through difficult times. Celebration is also a form of gratitude. In the Bible, we are often reminded to give thanks to God for His blessings. In Psalm 100 verse 4, it says, "Enter His gates with thanksgiving and His courts with praise." This call to give thanks is not limited to special occasions, but is a reminder that every celebration is an opportunity to acknowledge God's abundant gifts: life, health, love, and even the challenges that allow us to grow. Festivals like Thanksgiving or Diwali in Hinduism are designed specifically to express gratitude. In Thanksgiving, people come together to give thanks for the year's harvest and the blessings they've received. This act of thanksgiving is a spiritual reminder that everything we have is a gift from God. Diwali, the festival of lights in Hinduism, is a time when families and communities celebrate the triumph of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. It is a time to thank God for the light He brings into our lives, and for the blessings of family, prosperity, and spiritual growth. Celebration is also a reflection of God's joy. The act of celebration, whether through music, dance, or communal meals, reflects the joy that God has in His creation. Jesus said in the Gospel of John 15 verse 11, "I have told you this, so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete." As God's creations, we are made to experience joy, and it is through celebrating that we mirror God's own joy in us. In Islam, the joyous occasion of Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of Ramadan, is a celebration of spiritual renewal and God's mercy. It is a time for Muslims to gather in prayer and feasting, expressing their joy at the opportunity to have fasted, prayed, and grown closer to Allah. In Christianity, the celebration of Christmas reminds believers of the joy of Christ's birth, the ultimate gift of God's love to humanity. The joy of the season is not only expressed in the giving of gifts, but in the recognition of God's love manifested through Christ. It is a reminder that God's love brings joy to the world, and that celebrating together amplifies that joy. Another powerful aspect of celebration in relation to God is a sense of unity it fosters. When we gather in celebration, we are reminded that we are part of something much greater than ourselves, a community of believers who share the same faith and worship the same God. The act of coming together to celebrate strengthens our bonds with one another and with the divine. Whether it's attending a church service, participating in a Ramadan fast, or celebrating Rosh Hashanah, the act of community celebration reinforces the idea that we are all part of God's family, united in love and faith. In Sikhism, Gurpurabs, the birthdays of the Sikh gurus, are times of communal prayer, singing hymns, and reflection on the teachings of the gurus. These celebrations bring people together, reinforcing the values of service, humility, and equality, all of which reflect the love of God for all His children. Lastly, celebration should remind us of a higher calling, to live with a spirit of celebration in our everyday lives. It's easy to become absorbed in the trials and burdens of life, but God calls us to live with joy and gratitude. The Bible teaches in Philippians 4 verse 4, "Rejoice in the Lord always." I will say it again, rejoice! This isn't just about celebrating on special days, but about maintaining an attitude of celebration and gratitude, knowing that God is with us in both the good and challenging times. Every small act of kindness, every moment of love shared with others, can be a form of celebration. Every time we live according to God's will, we honor Him. Celebration then becomes not just an event, but a lifestyle, a way of acknowledging God's goodness in all things. Celebration is deeply rooted in our relationship with God. It is a time to reflect on His blessings, to express our joy and gratitude, to come together in unity, and to honor His presence in our lives. Whether through sacred festivals, communal gatherings, or personal acts of joy, celebration serves as a reminder that life is a gift from God and that we are called to live with gratitude, joy, and love. As we celebrate, let us remember that the true essence of celebration is not found in the festivities themselves, but in the recognition of God's divine presence and the invitation to share in His joy. Celebration is a universal human experience, one that transcends cultures, religions, and geographies. It is an intrinsic part of life that allows people to express joy, gratitude, and love. However, the true essence of celebration goes far beyond the mere act of festivity. In many religious traditions, celebration is deeply rooted in the relationship between human beings and God. Whether through communal worship, ritual observance, or personal acts of gratitude, celebration is a way to honor God, acknowledge His presence in our lives, and draw closer to Him. At the heart of every celebration is a recognition of the blessings and gifts that God has bestowed upon us. In many religious traditions, festivals and celebrations serve as acts of thanksgiving to God for His generosity, protection, and love. Celebration, in this sense, becomes an outward expression of gratitude and recognition of God's providence. For instance, in Christianity, the celebration of Christmas marks the birth of Jesus Christ, the ultimate gift of God's love for humanity. It is a time when Christians gather to celebrate the arrival of their Savior, acknowledging the divine act of God's intervention in human history. The act of celebration is not just about the joy of Christ's birth, but also about expressing gratitude for the salvation that Jesus' life, death, and resurrection brought to the world. Similarly, Thanksgiving is a celebration rooted in acknowledging the blessings of life. While it may have secular origins, for many Christians, Thanksgiving is a sacred occasion to reflect on God's provision, both in the material and spiritual aspects of life. The act of gathering with family, sharing a meal, and giving thanks for God's grace emphasizes the recognition that everything in life is a gift from God. In Judaism, the festival of Sukkot celebrates God's protection of the Israelites during their years of wandering in the desert. The sukkah, a temporary shelter, is a symbolic reminder of the fragility of human life and the care that God provides. Sukkot is a celebration of divine provision, where the Jewish people express their gratitude for God's faithfulness and care, both in their past and present lives. Celebration is also an act of worship, a way to honor and glorify God. In many religious traditions, festivals are times of communal worship, where believers come together to praise God, reflect on His teachings, and renew their faith. Worship during these celebrations is an acknowledgement of God's sovereignty and a reaffirmation of the believer's commitment to living according to His will. In Islam, the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the month of fasting during Ramadan, is a time for Muslims to come together in worship and thanksgiving to Allah. The day begins with special prayers at the mosque, followed by feasting and giving to the poor. The entire celebration is a way of recognizing God's mercy and grace, as well as expressing gratitude for the strength to complete the fast. This act of communal worship strengthens the bond between individuals, and their Creator, reinforcing the central role of God in the lives of believers. Similarly, in Hinduism, the celebration of Diwali is a time for worshiping the divine in the form of Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity. While Diwali is associated with joy, light, and family gatherings, it is fundamentally a time for invoking divine blessings, offering prayers, and expressing gratitude to God for the light He brings into the world. The lighting of lamps and fireworks symbolizes the triumph of divine knowledge over ignorance, and the celebration becomes a spiritual act of inviting God's presence into the home and heart. Another key aspect of celebration in relation to God is its role in strengthening the spiritual community. Many religious celebrations are communal in nature, bringing believers together to worship, share, and support one another in faith. These celebrations serve as reminders that we are not isolated in our spiritual journey, but are part of a larger body of believers who share the same devotion to God. In Christianity, for example, the celebration of the Eucharist, Holy Communion, is a central act of worship, symbolizing the unity of believers with Christ and with one another. The act of sharing bread and wine, as instituted by Jesus during the Last Supper, fosters a sense of community among believers. It serves as a reminder that Christians are united in their relationship with God and with each other, and that celebration is an act of collective faith. In Sikhism, the observance of Gurpurabs, the birthdays of the Sikh gurus, brings together Sikhs from all walks of life to reflect on the teachings of the gurus, offer prayers, and celebrate their spiritual heritage. These celebrations are not only about honoring the gurus, but also about reaffirming the collective commitment to live according to the divine principles of equality, justice, and service. The community aspect of these celebrations emphasizes that spirituality is lived out in the context of relationship with others, as believers work together to serve God and one another. Similarly, Ramadan in Islam is a time of fasting, prayer, and reflection, but it also emphasizes community. The shared experience of fasting, coming together for prayers, and breaking the fast at iftar dinners creates a sense of solidarity and unity among Muslims. The communal aspect of Ramadan strengthens the bond between believers and their Creator, as well as between one another, reminding them that they are part of a larger, interconnected community of faith. Finally, celebration is a way for individuals to deepen their relationship with God. It serves as a spiritual practice that fosters personal growth, renewal, and transformation. Whether through reflection, prayer, or acts of devotion, celebrations offer individuals an opportunity to strengthen their connection with the divine and to grow in their understanding of God's love and will for their lives. The act of celebration, whether in the form of fasting, feasting, or prayer, allows believers to pause and refocus their attention on God. In doing so, celebrations create space for deeper connection, fostering humility, gratitude, and reverence. By participating in religious festivals and holidays, individuals are invited to experience God's love in new ways and to renew their commitment to living a life in accordance with His will. Celebration is deeply rooted in our relationship with God. It is not merely about joy or festivity. It is about recognizing God's presence in our lives, expressing gratitude for His blessings, honoring Him through worship, and strengthening our communal bonds. Whether through personal reflection or communal worship, celebration serves as a vital spiritual practice that deepens our connection with the divine and reaffirms our commitment to living according to God's will. As we celebrate, we are reminded that life itself is a gift from God, and that every act of celebration is an opportunity to honor Him, renew our faith, and grow closer to the Creator who sustains us. Life is often described as one of the greatest mysteries and blessings that humanity has received. The intricate complexity of life, from the vastness of the cosmos to the smallness of a single cell, is awe-inspiring and humbling. Many religious traditions emphasize that life is not simply a random occurrence, but a gift from God. This idea is foundational to understanding the value of human existence and the responsibility that comes with it. Life itself, with all its joys, struggles, and opportunities for growth, is considered a divine gift, and how we live it can be a reflection of our gratitude and reverence toward God. In many religious beliefs, the creation of life is attributed to a divine creator. In Christianity, the Bible teaches that God is the creator of all things, and humanity was created in his image. In the opening verses of Genesis 1, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Genesis 1 verse 1. From the creation of the universe to the formation of humans, the scriptures highlight that life itself is a result of God's will and action. Humans were created with purpose, made to live in relationship with God and one another, and entrusted with the stewardship of the earth. Similarly, in Islam, the Quran emphasizes that all life is created by Allah, and that human beings are placed on earth with a divine purpose. Surah 64:3 states, "It is he who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and then established himself above the throne. He knows what enters the earth and what exits it, what descends from the sky and what ascends into it. And he is with you wherever you may be." For Muslims, life is a manifestation of God's creativity and power, and it is to be respected and cherished as a divine gift. In Hinduism, life is viewed as part of the ongoing cycle of creation, preservation, and destruction, governed by the divine forces of Brahman, the ultimate reality. Life is sacred because it is an expression of the divine energy that flows through everything. The idea of karma also suggests that the life we experience is shaped by past actions, emphasizing the connection between life and divine law, and reminding individuals that their actions have both spiritual and practical consequences. Understanding life as a gift from God brings with it a deep sense of purpose and meaning. When life is viewed as a gift, it is not simply a series of random events or a temporary experience. It becomes a sacred trust to be honored and used wisely. This perspective invites individuals to see their lives as part of a larger divine plan, with a unique role and purpose to fulfill. In Christianity, believers are taught that their lives have purpose through the teachings of Jesus Christ, who calls his followers to live with love, compassion, and service. In Jeremiah 29, verse 11, God promises, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Life, as a gift from God, is seen as a means to align one's actions with divine will, to love others, and to serve the community. Similarly, in Islam, life is a test, and it is believed that everything in life is a trial given by Allah. The Quran says, "Do not kill the soul which Allah has made sacred, except by right." Quran 17:33. For Muslims, the recognition that life is a gift from God is reflected in their daily lives through acts of worship, kindness, and justice. Every action in life is viewed as an opportunity to honor the Creator by fulfilling His commands and contributing to the well-being of humanity. In Buddhism, life is seen as a precious opportunity to achieve enlightenment. Although the concept of a personal God is different in Buddhism, the idea that life is a gift is still central. The teachings of the Buddha focus on the impermanence of life and the importance of living mindfully, understanding the nature of suffering, and striving toward liberation from the cycle of rebirth. In this sense, life is a gift because it offers an opportunity to grow spiritually and make choices that lead to enlightenment. When life is understood as a gift from God, it fosters a spirit of gratitude. Instead of taking life for granted, individuals are encouraged to recognize the preciousness of each moment and the blessings it holds. Gratitude becomes an essential response to life itself, acknowledging that each breath, each sunrise, and every opportunity is part of God's abundant provision. In Christianity, believers are urged to live in gratitude, as seen in 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 18. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. The act of giving thanks is not just about expressing gratitude for good things, but also recognizing that even the challenges in life are opportunities for growth and deeper connection with God. Life itself, with all its ups and downs, is viewed as a means to honor God and draw closer to Him. In Judaism, the concept of tikkun olam, meaning repairing the world, emphasizes the responsibility humans have to take care of the earth and all living things as a reflection of their gratitude to God. This stewardship is rooted in the belief that God created the world and entrusted human beings with the care of it. By living responsibly, with an awareness of the sacredness of life, humans honor the gift of life and contribute to the well-being of the world. In Islam, gratitude to Allah is expressed in both words and actions. Muslims are encouraged to give charity, zakat, care for the poor, and live a life of justice and kindness. The Quran reminds believers that if you are grateful, I will surely increase your favor upon you. Quran 14:7 *. This expression of gratitude to God is seen as a natural response to the understanding that life is a divine gift. Life, as a gift from God, is not only about the experiences one accumulates, but about the journey of spiritual growth and transformation. The process of living, learning, and evolving is a sacred journey where individuals are invited to deepen their relationship with God and discover the meaning of their existence. In Christianity, this journey is often viewed as a walk of faith, where believers are continually called to grow in love, wisdom, and holiness. The Apostle Paul writes in Philippians 1:6, "And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." Life is a process of transformation, and God's grace is believed to guide believers every step of the way. In Hinduism, the journey of life is intertwined with the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, where the soul progresses toward liberation, moksha. Life, in this sense, is a divine opportunity to advance spiritually, purify oneself, and ultimately reunite with the divine source. Life itself is undeniably a gift from God. It is not an accident, nor is it something to be taken for granted. From the moment of birth to the very end, life is a precious and sacred opportunity given by the Creator. This understanding invites individuals to live with purpose, gratitude, and responsibility. Life is an opportunity to grow, serve, love, and honor God. It is a journey of transformation and a reflection of divine grace. By recognizing that life is a gift, we are reminded to cherish it, make the most of every moment, and live with the awareness that our existence is a divine blessing, one to be celebrated, protected, and lived with purpose.